There is nothing more exciting than bringing home a new batch of baby chicks. But there's also a lot that could go wrong in that first 24 hours. So let's talk about how you can give them the best start. In an uncertain world, one thing unites us all: the chicken. From the suburbs to the big city, let's learn an inclusive and stress-free way to raise chickens. Welcome to Chickenlandia. Hey guys, welcome to Chickenlandia. I am a backyard chicken educator here in the Pacific Northwest, but you can call me the president of Chickenlandia. I remember how excited I was when I brought home my first batch of baby chicks, but I was also really nervous because I wanted to do everything right. So let's talk about a few things that you can do to make sure they have the best start, and hopefully they'll have a nice long life. So the first thing that I want you to remember when you bring your baby chicks home is that it is very likely that they have been through a lot by the time they get to you. If you got your baby chicks from a farm store, it is very likely that they came from a hatchery. And what that means is that very soon after they were hatched, they were packaged up and shipped to the farm store. And so they had that whole experience. And then they get to the farm store, they get put into the brooder there, and there's customers that come in and look at them. Sometimes they get picked up. It's a really stressful experience at that point. And then they still have to be packaged and brought home with you in a car. So to them, that's like being abducted by aliens. That is a lot to deal with for a little creature that has just hatched out of the egg. It's barely been alive for 2 days probably. So with that in mind, after you bring your baby chicks home, after that initial cuddle session, which I know is really important, I know you want to handle them, I do want you to give them some time to just de-stimulate from that experience. Let them figure out where their food and water is, because really it's very crucial for them to find their food and water very quickly so that they can build that resilience and have a nice, long, healthy life. So there are a few things that I want you to offer your baby chicks right when they come home to give them a nice boost of nutrition. When they first come home, I want you to put tepid water in their waterer and put either some vitamins, electrolytes, and probiotics into their water, which you can find that prepackaged at farm stores. You can find it online. I want you to put that in their water per the package instructions. Alternatively, you can put a teaspoon per quart of apple cider vinegar in their water. So that would be a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar per quart of baby chicks water. And both of those things are going to encourage your baby chicks to drink, which they really need to do when they get home. It's also going to give them a nice boost of nutrition, which of course we know is good for them. But I don't want you to put these things in their water at the same time. If you choose a vitamin, electrolyte, and probiotic product, then after 1 or 2 weeks, I want you to stop giving that to them and then switch over to apple cider vinegar, because it's just really good for them for their whole lives. Of course, the most important thing is for them to be drinking. So if you notice they're not drinking and you think it might be because there's something in the water, you can just give them straight water and see if they'll start drinking that. But usually these things will actually encourage them to drink. One of the things I really encourage people to do with baby chicks is to find some clean glass marbles and put them in their waterer. Now you might say, why would I be putting marbles in their waterer? And the reason is that what it does is it makes it to where they can get sips of water, but they cannot immerse themselves in the water. Because if they do that, then they can get chilled and they can actually die. And for some reason, some baby chicks will do that. I think maybe they just get disoriented and they don't really understand they're not supposed to get into the water. So that would be a really dangerous situation for them, and you don't want that to happen. So a simple solution is to take some marbles and put it in the waterer, and then that way they can get a drink, but they cannot get themselves into any danger. As soon as they start getting some feathers, you can take the marbles out. They should be nice and stable by that point. If they're bantams, you might have to wait a little bit longer. When you bring your baby chicks home, you're gonna wanna have some bedding in their brooder so that they can be nice and comfy. But when I bring day-old baby chicks home, I actually don't put shavings in the brooder. I will lay down paper towels. And the reason that I do that is that baby chicks really need to get good traction on their little feet right when they come out of the shell. So paper towels are nice and flat and they have good traction for them. The other thing is you can get their food and you can get their grit and you can sprinkle it around on the paper towels and they can see it really well. And it's really important for baby chicks to be able to find their food very quickly. Now I still want you to put their food and a little bit of grit in their feeder so that they can learn that that's where they're supposed to eat. But when they first come home, I like to sprinkle it around so that they can find it really easily. After a few days, maybe a little bit longer, if you have very small bantams, you can take out the paper towels and replace it with your bedding of choice. A lot of folks will ask me, well, I should probably get a thermometer, right? So I can make sure that my baby chicks are at the right temperature. But really what I prefer to do is to just make sure that they're comfortable. If they are all huddled under the lamp, then they're too cold. If they are all lined up against the sides of the brooder trying to get away from the lamp, then they are too hot. What you really want is for some to be under the lamp sleeping, some to be walking around picking and scratching. You want to hear soft little peeps, maybe the occasional call, but nothing too alarming. And you can really tell when a baby chick is in distress. So you want there to be a calm feeling in the brooder, and that's how you can tell that it's warm enough in there and that it's not too hot for them too. To avoid all of that guesswork, I actually use a radiant brooder, and that's what I like to use. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're less of a fire hazard, and I believe that in the long run, it is better for the baby chicks. So you might be wondering, when is the best time to get baby chicks? Should I get them right now? Should I wait? Well, I have a video all about that. All you have to do is click right here. It's 100% friendly, backyard chickens, education, and entertainment, and I know that you're gonna love it.